This reading from St. Mark's Gospel occurs right after Jesus' rejection in his hometown, which we've read and we've talked about a little bit. Jesus, after such a great triumph in Capernaum, comes back to his hometown, and he's not able to perform any miracles there because the people have no faith. They feel that they already know him, and so they're not open to what God is doing through him and in him, because he is God, in their place. They're so caught up in appearances that they are not able to sense the powerful presence of God in these words and works of Jesus. So it's right after that that Jesus sends out the 12. And this is really, it's a very small passage, isn't it? And it's one that we feel like we've heard before. And we say, okay, he didn't want them to take anything for the journey but a walking stick. No food, no sack, no money in their belts. They could wear sandals here, but don't bring a second tunic. And so we say, okay, well, I'm familiar with that from other readings. But we can miss probably the most important point here that Mark is making. That early on, Jesus is sharing his ministry with others, with those who are closest with him, closest to him. And it starts off by saying he gave them authority over unclean spirits. Jesus is sharing with those who are closest with him his authority, which is the authority of God. And it is authority that is expressed in word and work. He is giving them a word to say, a word to preach, a gospel to preach, good news. And he is giving them, sharing with them, God's authority to preach that word effectively. Now that's a very powerful thing. Here's Jesus is ministering himself. He's not saying, I'm going to take a few days off, but I'm going to send you guys out. Jesus obviously is continuing to work, but he wants his message to be spread far and wide. So he sends his disciples out. But he doesn't send them out unequipped. It seems as though he's telling them, don't take this, don't take that, don't take something else. But the most important thing of all that they're taking is authority. And if you have God's authority behind what you're doing, then you don't need anything else. And so they go forth and they do what Jesus himself is doing. How different that is from our normal human reaction to things. Even those of us who are basically good people, if we have our shtick, our little song and dance that we do, we really don't want to share it with anybody else. We want to keep the center stage, you see. I'm the one that always gets up and recites the pledge, or I'm the one that always gets up and sings the national anthem, or whatever it might be. I'm the one who does the little dance, But Jesus, right here from the start, is already sharing his authority and his work and his word and the power to proclaim the word and the power in the name of God to drive out demons and to cure the sick. He's sharing that ministry with others. So we see the mission of the church beginning even before the passion and death of Jesus, don't we? We see the mission and the work of the church beginning right there in collaboration with Christ himself. What we're doing today is what the apostles did alongside of Jesus as he was working. And the important thing to remember is as we do the work in the church, as we continue the work of Christ as present-day apostles, is Christ acting along with us and with us. And when we do what Jesus asked of us, is the power of God and the authority of Christ Jesus that acts through the words and the works of the present-day apostles in the church. As I say, it's a little tiny gospel, and it's so easy to miss the tremendous power and the tremendous teaching that's present in it. That when you have God's authority behind you, you don't need anything else for security. That God will be with you to guide you, and the Spirit will lead you forth into the works of evangelization and of healing that continue the work of Christ today.